Good afternoon, everyone. Rich Wildman here. Glad to have you back at Music Scene Investigation down in the MSI Labs, 14 floors below ground. If you believe that, I guess we owe you some money. And want to welcome everybody here joining us today. We got all our panelists here. We've checked their video. Everything seems to be working, so I'm very happy about that. Needless to say, after last week, I double-checked. I really did. All right, now, if you're not sure how the show works or if you're not familiar with what MSI is, let me explain it a little bit. We actually provide a service to indie music artists anywhere in the world. We review their music. All you got to do is submit it at musicsceneinvestigation.com, and you can head over there anytime, day or night. It is running 24/7. We select 3 songs randomly every week, and we put those in front of our music industry expert panelist. They, in turn, offer their reviews, mostly technical. Regardless of what they offer, it's a review you can use, and we're glad to have them do it. So, that being said, I want to announce that, excuse me, that in the next month or so, we're going to be introducing a new aspect to what MSI is. Every week we select a song of the week. Well, from now on, every month we're going to be selecting a hit list artist of the month. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means you got to make song of the week to qualify for artist of the month. It's pretty simple. You can't win if you don't submit your music. So that being said, if you are selected Artist of the Month, you're going to win some great prizes. We got our partners at Butterflies Radio, partners over at the Indie Music Bus, Sound Pro Live, and the Live to Play Network. The Live to Play Network and our other partners are all donating something to the cause. That's true. Live to Play Network is donating hardware. Butterflies Radio, Indie Music Bus, Sound Pro Live are donating PR. Those are going to be prizes to everyone involved if you make that Artist of the Week. You can't win if you don't play, however. So, that being said, submit your music today. MusicSceneInvestigation.com. Now, let's meet our panelist for today. New York City, it's hot there, it's muggy there, it may rain there. Who knows? Tom, how you doing, my friend? What is the weather like?
I'm looking outside, and I see a lot of light, Rich.
A lot of light, so it's sunny.
No, it's a train coming.
I gotcha. So it's a tunnel you're living in.
Well, you know, we go where we're told to.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're not a floating head today. Welcome back, Tom.
Well, I'm glad, and I'm glad that this time
the video's working.
This is true. Last week, you know, we had some technical difficulties, despite whatever I may think. And as always, you know, ready to do my best to help independent artists and filter through these songs to let the cream rise to the top, so to speak.
All right. Well, hopefully that's exactly what's going to happen. Thanks again, Tom. Our guest, or our panelist from London, England, is Ian Husbands. Ian, how are you today?
I'm good, Rich. How are you guys?
Doing very, very well. How is everything over your way?
Yeah, we're good. We're good here. It's. I'm looking out my window and I'm seeing my curtains. They're closed. It's night time.
I was going to say, you hang the curtains on the outside of your window?
Well, I can't actually see out the window because of the curtains. Thus, I see the curtains.
Gotcha.
I've got a bit of an announcement to make today as well, Rich.
All right, do so, sir.
We're actually launching another little new thing today, aren't we, on the show, called the Witness Statement. So from now on, our viewers are no longer viewers. They're witnesses, and you're all witnesses to this show. And when it comes to the Song of the Week selection this week, we're going to ask you guys to go over to a new page we've set up on the site at msi.icweekly.net/witness and ask your opinion on the tracks for this week. You can award the tracks for best songwriting, best performance, and best mix and production. So we'll give you the URL when it's time.
I'm just typing it in now.
All right, give them to it now. I could have done that. I was gonna make them wait.
Now, the witness page, as Ian has said, 3 polls we put up that you have input into, and you can go there, read it, take a look at it. If you're watching the show at the MusicSceneInvestigation.com site, at the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a button. It says Witness Statement. You click on that, it takes you there automatically, opens into a new window, so it doesn't interrupt your viewing pleasure. Now, our guest panelist today, a good friend of MSI, and we're happy to have him as a partner. It is Mark Lamdanski, co-owner of Butterflies Radio. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And, Ian, I think you can donate some hair over to Rich. What do you think? I had to close my eyes. I couldn't believe what I was seeing there.
Mark, we're not meant to talk about this, remember?
Oh, we're not.
This is alopecia. He's a bit embarrassed about it.
Oh, man. Anyway, so moving right along.
Now, wait a second. Wait a second. Look who's talking here. Come on.
Well, look, Tom and I, we have some hair left, thankfully.
Well, you actually have a healthy head of hair. I've got actually what it is. It's my beard stubble growing through.
Okay, well, Ian, you look like the young one of the crowd.
That's because I am.
Oh, okay. Don't rub it in, all right?
No, I wouldn't do that. Just stating the facts.
All right, Mark, now I know over at Butterflies Radio, you guys have been busy over there. You got a lot of new things in the works. I tune in every week to Twitter Tuesday Live. What do you got coming up on it? You guys are booked almost like to the end of the year.
Well, we actually have a waiting list, actually. We will only book up to 6 months in advance because beyond 6 months, we just don't know what's going to happen. So we are always booked 6 months, and then we have a waiting list of people that pretty much first come, first serve. We fit them in when we open up weeks to schedule. We are having some amazing bands contacting us. This past week, we had one of the finalists from Australia's Got Talent, besides Lights, was a guest on Twitter Tuesday Light.
They were great, by the way.
Yeah, they're great guys, young, funny, smart, and extremely talented. And I'm not sure, but sometime soon their actual final performance will be happening. And I'm rooting for them. They deserve it. They're an awesome band.
Yeah, they really are. And like I said, I tuned into the show. I tune in, every week if I get the opportunity to. And the grade of talent's just amazing. To have the finalists from Australia's Got Talent, what a treat that was.
It was great. It was great. And then, of course, we're proud now to be partnered with MSI Hit List. We're looking forward to featuring the winner on our show. And of course, Kiva, who is our host of the Butterflies Radio Indie Views Artist Spotlight, which airs every Monday, is going to be interviewing the winner from MSI Hit List as part of their winners package, which is aired. That show's aired every Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. You can check that out as well. And then, of course, we're proud to be partnered with Walt from Indie Music Bus, who's going to be social media blasting and featuring the MSI Hit List winner. This is going to be awesome. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, we are too. And having both Butterflies Radio and the Indie Music Bus partnering is just an amazing thing. I mean, you guys have been partnered with us for quite a while, and can't say enough good things about everybody over at Butterflies Radio. It just seems like it's a one big happy family, and we're just very lucky to have become a part of it.
I got a question.
Yes.
Will you be featuring the Britain's Got Talent winner on the show?
Well, the dogs?
Yeah. just a thought.
Yeah, sure. If they can manage to get on Skype and carry an intelligent conversation with us, we'll work with the dogs.
Just make sure they don't blow your woofer.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
I've
okay.
said
No
it before and
camera
I'll
shot
say it
here.
again.
Hey,
I've said
I
it
know
before and
why.
I'll say it again.
Go ahead.
It's a case of, if this is the best that Britain's got to offer, then you should be interviewing those dogs. They deserve it.
Yeah, I really have to back up for 1 second. I hope you don't mind, Rich, but I really have to give a shout out to my partner in crime and co-owner of Butterflies Radio, Carol, who is actually tuned in through her phone, listening to the show right now over in Queensland, Townsville, Australia. She just moved this past week from Perth to Townsville, and so hey, Carol.
Well, hello, Carol. Definitely, I love Carol, and I got to tell
Carol.
you, Hey,
Carol.
I happened to have the opportunity to watch the whole Artist in Music Awards from, back in February, I think is when it was. I just happened upon the video from Butterflies Radio's site, as a matter of fact. Watched the entire show. I was looking very much forward to seeing you and Carol walk out. And I hate to tell you, Mark, but I think they cut that part out. I didn't see you guys.
What? No, it's there. Come on.
I'm kidding with you. I'm pulling your leg. No, you guys look great, and I got to say, out of all the presenters there, I think that yourself and Carol were probably the best poised and most professional of them.
Oh, well, thank you. And actually, in my conversations with Mikey J, who I believe you had on your show last week,
Yeah.
I believe I'm going to have a bigger part in the show this coming year. Maybe a co-host spot. Who knows? I'm still going to talk to Mikey about that.
Well deserved. I certainly hope it happens because, like I said, when you were out there, you took command of the stage. No nerves evident at all. I mean, it looked like you'd been doing these kinds of things for years and years.
Well, after doing Twitter Tuesday Live for so long, I realized it's different being just doing audio than getting up on a stage. But through all my networking and people that I've met, and you begin to feel like you belong there. And I think that just adds to your confidence when you get up there one day and say, you know what, this is where I belong. I'm part of this. I'm a force to be reckoned with in the indie music industry, and so I'm not going to be nervous. I deserve to be here.
I agree. And I was hoping that you would give a little credit to the video broadcast that you sit in on every once in a while.
Well, yeah. I'll be sure to do that next time. I promise.
No name dropping. I'm just saying that's where part of your confidence came from, see?
Yeah, we want name dropping. My name, not theirs.
Absolutely.
Well, definitely mention Ian and Rich. Like I said, I keep saying I'm just the meat.
Well, there is no sandwich without meat, Tom. And that is the truth.
Ew.
Now, Ian.
Just the thought of the three of us in a sandwich, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's just the way it works sometimes. All right. Now, Mark, another question for you is you've been in the process. I know you've expanded the number of shows that you're running out on Butterflies Radio. You've got a show every week. What's your future expansion plans for Butterflies Radio? I know you've got a lot in the works.
Well, as far as shows are concerned, I don't want to overload the station with shows, but we do have a couple of slots left, and so we're trying to add maybe one or two. Perhaps Wayne's World from Crank It Radio, we might add him in there. One or two others we're looking into. But one of the biggest things we're working on right now, and this is actually we're working with Walter from Indie Music Bus, is to put up our own proprietary music submission page on our website. This is going to be the only method to submit music to Butterflies Radio once it's up and running. As you probably remember from my last, what do you call it? The guest tip?
Right. Guest tip.
I was very avid on this whole issue about ID3 tags. And so it doesn't seem to help. As much as I talk about it, we just continue to get music submitted without the proper ID3 tags. And so one of the benefits we're going to get from this proprietary page is it's going to force the issue. You will not be able to submit that song to us without the proper ID3 tags applied to the song. And it's also going to require you to submit your bio, contact information, Twitter username, everything that we need in order to play your song on our station and give you shout outs on Twitter Tuesday Live and other shows. So this is going to be, once it's in place, the only way. No more MP3 attachments by email, no more music X-ray, no more music submit. The only other thing we will have is one more Reverb Nation campaign in August. But other than that, you want to submit music to us, you're going to register on our site and submit it that way.
And I think that's a great deal. I think it's a wonderful way of handling it to ensure that all the music submitted is in the proper format with the proper information attached to it. So good on you there, and hopefully that comes to fruition very quickly for you.
I hope so. Thank you.
All right. Now, gentlemen, as always, we're here to listen to some great music, offer them some great reviews they can use. I know you're ready. I'm ready. Everybody out in the audience is ready. So why don't we just go ahead and get started with this? What do you say?
I say, let's go.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do this today. So here is song number 1 on today's MSI. Here we go, everyone. That is song number 1 on today's MSI. Let's go over to Ian and find out what he thought. Ian, what do you think of track number 1? Why don't I hear you? Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Ian. Start again.
Did I ever tell you about my love for jazz?
No, you did not.
No, because I haven't got one. Look, I mean, this is very well done. It is. The players are accomplished. The mix is crisp. The bass player is tight, seeing as those drums are all over the place. But in time, amazingly. You know, I mean, they are very accomplished players. The guitarist has got a Santana sound to him. There's just so much going on here, and nothing that sort of stayed in one place enough to keep my attention. In fact, I'll be honest, I got very bored very quickly on this. My mind wandered. It is very creative, but it needs more of an arrangement, more of a structure for my liking, so I can grab the idea of what's going on. The dynamics are there, the arrangement's not. It's more like someone's gone, right, let's jam and hit the record button, bang, dun, 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 bang, off we go. You know, and that's it for me, really. I mean, yeah, it might have a place in the film. It is far too long. I mean, it's over 5 minutes, which is our customary cut-off point. But I listened to the end, and the extra 20 seconds done nothing for me. In fact, you could probably take this down to 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe it would get into a film, you know, one of these sort of gangster films where they're sort of running the sort of weird jazzy music in the background or something like that. A bit film noir-y or something. But, yeah, it just didn't work for me. And I found the biggest thing on the mix for me was the organ sound. I found that very thin. And the drums, as much as they were well played for this sort of track, they sounded a bit rock. They needed to come down, not necessarily to brushes or you know, the sticks or anything like that, but just not so hard.
All right, makes sense. I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you. And let's go over to Tom and find out what he thought. Tom, track number 1, sir.
I kind of agree yet disagree with Ian. It was very minimal, and I think what's bothering Ian is there was no consistent rhythm track. It was everybody doing their soloing and their best playing, and it didn't give me a sense of a group performing. As you said, everything was recorded well, and everybody's very accomplished. I thought the bass could have been a little bit more creative in what it was doing, move a little bit more. It was like they were walking on eggs almost, to not disturb anybody else's performance. And instead of featuring each artist separately, it just disjointed the entire production for me. The length of it didn't really bother me so much, but if they, like the keyboard, you know, I was missing that, you know, during the guitar solo. You know, like in most jazz, the piano will play like a little clink, 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 da 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 da. You know, just fills and you know, even though he did the volume up on the guitar during some solos and stuff, it just feels empty. For once, I think I might say that it was too much space. It needs a better production, and I mean, I don't think they could play it any better. They could reinvent themselves and go back in and make it tighter, so that there's not so much. There was like an 8-bar part where it's just drums and guitar, you know, and then there was just bass, and it just lacked a conjoining theme to bring it all together. I can't remember. It lacked memorability.
All right, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you, and let's go to our guest panelist, Mark Lamdanski, Butterflies Radio. Mark, what do you think?
sounded to me like a bunch of guys got together and said, "Hey, let's have a jam session." It didn't sound to me like Ian was saying. It didn't sound to me like it had any structure to it. As musicians, assuming that all of the instruments were indeed individual musicians, they did a great job individually. I'm not a fan of the organ sound in this particular instance. I think it would have been more suitable for a piano or a jazz piano sound in there, and maybe even a little bit of rhythm guitar. I like a fuller sound personally, and it didn't sound full to me. It was. I love jazz, and I would listen to this type of music, not necessarily this song again, because I also agree that it was a little bit too long. It lost me after a little while. It was like, okay, is this over yet? It didn't catch me. It didn't grab me. I think that's pretty much it.
All right. I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And let me take and introduce the artist. Track number 1 is called Galanga by Phill Cavalieri. Phill Cavalieri with Galanga. And we appreciate their sending that in to MSI. All right, gentlemen, that being said, we have 2 more tracks to listen to. Let's go ahead and take a listen to track number 2 on today's MSI. And track number 2 on today's MSI. Let's head over to Tom, find out what he thought. Tom, track number 2, your thoughts?
Very tightly played. I wish there were, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a heavier rock group on MTV Unplugged, where this song has the potential to have a lot more power and really be a rocker and a heavy hit. The vocalist certainly has the chops for it. I didn't like the panning too much on the guitars, or the guitar sound in particular. I think they should have layered more guitars and definitely had at least one more guitar somewhere around center pan. Again, the band played excellently. I thought, you know, very much in time. I was wishing to hear it swing more, you know, to give it that more of a rolling feel, and the arrangement is okay. I think they should just put this up a notch and you know, put the electric guitars in, or run the acoustics through amps. You know, let it really, you know, stand out in full power, and the bass sound was good, but again, the song is minimal, you know. I guess we can call this minimalistic week, but I mean, everything's there. It just needs to be made bigger, more powerful. And you know, layer some electric guitars and then have the acoustic guitars over them. But I was waiting for the big sound to come in, and it just didn't. But it's a well-written song, I thought, and again, played excellently. And the mix was better than demo quality, but I think it should go back to the take it back into the studio and bring it up a notch all the way around.
All right, makes sense, Tom. Thank you. And Mark, what do you think of track number 2?
Well, you know, if you had my video on at the same time as Tom's, you would have seen me shaking my head, because I was thinking that is shaking my head in the positive, because I agree completely with the fact that it just wasn't enough power. You know, it felt to me like it was building up to be this really powerful rock song, and then I kind of felt a little let down. I understand the acoustic in the intro, and I really liked the intro, although it was maybe a little bit too long coming in. But I think that after that, you know, bring in the electric guitar, bring in the rock sounds, make it more full. Just like I was saying in the previous song, it didn't feel like it was complete to me. Overall, the song was good. The guy's got a good voice. I think, you know, adding a few something else, it was just lacking, and the acoustic needs to be switched over to something harder, more into the song. That's my opinion.
All right, I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you. And Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I did like this. I mean, this is my kind of music. The whole, as Tom was saying, the unplugged scene that happened with bands like Nirvana and Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam. I was big into that, and this has definitely got that feel. Like the vocalist, the intro was good. I like the build of the intro. Then the little hums came in, and it kind of set the tone for where the track was going. But vocally, it didn't for me. The lead vocal was good. A little low in the mix, I felt could have been just up there a touch more. But the harmonies and the layer and the vocals, I think, lacked through the song. I would have liked to hear more of that. Very much in the style of Alice in Chains, Days of the New, Soundtrack of Our Lives, Puddle of Mud, bands like that, which has got a very big thing. I did expect the big guitars to come in. I did see the point where they could have come in, and I was kind of let down when they didn't. You know, the big, heavy, sort of Gibsons from a Marshall detuned to sort of drop D or even drop C like Alice in Chains do sometimes. Big, roaring, heavy guitars undertoning the whole track. Because if you do go back and listen to some of the purely acoustic stuff bands like Alice in Chains have written, the acoustic work is a lot more involved than is on this track. It works like it is, but if it's going to be a real standalone, strong acoustic track, the acoustic needs a bit more work. Don't get me wrong, the playing was awesome. I liked the acoustic solo, but it needs to be a bit more involved to keep your attention as a purely acoustic track. The drums were tight, performance-wise. I would have liked to hear a slightly tighter sound. They were a little bit MIDI and dull for my liking. I would like to hear them a bit brighter and a bit tighter. And I found the bass guitar was very flappy. It needs more compression. It needs to look at the EQ just to sort of bring it out and give it that drive that it had there, because it was there, but it wasn't driving like it should have done. Yeah, it's a good song. There's some stronger dynamics in there. I mean, the lyrics, the hook hasn't really stuck in my head. And I think a lot of that is possibly to do with it that it didn't really lift where it could have done with harmonies and extra bits added on the guitars. So I do like it. It's a good song. It's well recorded for what it is, but it does need some attention. It does sound like an MTV Unplugged song. If that is relevant in today's market, you know, Alice in Chains released a new album, didn't really have a big reception, so I don't think this would either.
All right, I appreciate that, Ian. And the track name is Save Your Diatribe. Maybe they were sending that to us specifically. No, I doubt it. Save Your Diatribe by Roderick76. Roderick76, thanks for sending that track in. Okay, now, gentlemen, we have a third track, of course, and would love to hear what you guys think of it, so let's give it a listen and find out, shall we? Here it is, track number 3 on today's MSI. There it is, track number 3 on today's MSI. Let's go to Mark first on this one, find out what he thought. Mark, your thoughts on track 3?
Well, for overall, let me say the intro. I love the intro to the song, and then the vocals started, and was straining to understand what I was hearing. I'm not sure if it was even in English or not. If it was, I couldn't understand anything. It was I think the vocals were buried. I probably needed to be more upfront. And I think that somewhere along the song, they should have gotten rid of the vocal effect and just had the woman's voice, so we can hear how she really sings. I think that the vocal effect throughout the whole song, for me, just kind of lost interest after a while. I think it could be a good song. The hook, it was a bit repetitive, the whole song, to me. I had a hard time distinguishing the hook in this song. It didn't really catch me. I think, I would add this song to the rotation if they made a few modifications to it. Overall, it was good, but I think a few things need to be changed on this song.
All right. Appreciate that, Mark. Thank you very much. And Ian, your thoughts on track number 3?
I'm just looking at the chat and reading people's predictions about what I'm going to say. That's fantastic.
Everybody, they've been guessing about what I'm going to say, what you're going to say, and Mark.
It's nice to have a reputation. Start with the sound palette for the instrumental part of this track that's been used is very nice. There's been a lot of thought put into that. The production and the mix is generally pretty strong. But I didn't like the drum sound. The drum sounds were very MIDI, and I found that snare especially dull and quite annoying, actually. It sort of just sat there banging away. There was no real dynamic to it, and it sort of got on my nerves a little bit. The drum sound is very, very important, especially to a track like this, and I think the drum sound was totally wrong. The wah bass that was sort of playing wow, 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 wow sort of thing, that kind of got a bit overbearing as well in places. Nice sound, too loud in the mix, and that was one of the things that was responsible for Yes Sam burying the vocals, because I couldn't make out a word of the lyrics either. And I think that was a combination of things. As Mark said, I think the use of effects, the vocal was very bright and very thin. There's lots of effects going on in there, and I think it was a foreign voice. I think there were English lyrics, but I couldn't get a grasp on the flow of what was being said at all. I liked the movement and the dynamic in the track and the arrangement. I thought the piano performance and the sound of the piano especially was fantastic. But again, no vocal layering, no extra bits and pieces coming in there, just sort of that monotonish, almost spoken, whispered vocal constantly through the track that you can't understand. I mean, it had an air, I think someone said in the chat room, and I agree with them, of craft work with a female sort of, I don't know, almost like a Bjork or something like that singing over the top of it. And it just wasn't sitting together properly for me. There is definitely a good producer sitting behind this on the instrumental side of things, but that vocal needs a lot of work. The mix needs a bit of work as well. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. I appreciate that, Ian. And Tom, what did you think of track number 3?
I'm still pushing up faders here for the vocal. This is a good example of what a bad mix can do to what has a lot of potential. The vocals are totally buried. They are English. It's a Japanese accent or Asian accent, I'm almost positive of. The drums were up way too loud in the mix. The snare was annoying. Why? Because the sound was wrong, the level was wrong. The kick drum was okay. The bass, that Ian mentioned, fell out of time every once in a while. Like
Yes,
they
it
didn't.
did.
Yeah, and that really threw me. This thing is a good track, recorded well with a very misunderstood mix for the type of music that it is. It is the most interesting out of the three, but it you know, it's hard to tell. You see, one of the things that I do, and this could be a tip for some people who are into mixing their music, is if you listen to your music low and you turn up the volume, and it doesn't have the same feel of power, there's something wrong with your mix. Because your mix has to sound as powerful at any level. And with all these songs, that seems to be the biggest problem, is that, you know, they may have been mixed too loud and everybody says, oh, it sounds awesome. But when you bring it down, you know, you can start to see the holes and the problems in the mix. You know, you would know that the vocal was buried. The vocal effect didn't bother me. It's just that it was so buried and done badly that, you know, you couldn't, you know, the vocal disappeared on and off throughout the whole song. The bass sound, you know, obscured things, and again, when it fell out of tempo. I think this could really, really benefit from a good mix, and then from there decide what to do. I think, you know, if the balances were better, if overall the mix is the problem, not the song.
All right, makes sense, Tom. Thank you very much. And let
Of
me.
course, it makes sense.
I know. I mean, you've got experience talking about that stuff. All right, here is track number 3. The name of it, "Subconscious Intimacy" by Lady Moss S. And as was being speculated in the chat room, they thought, obviously, from over Middle East or Far East, the author of that track actually was from South Africa. Just wanted to let you know about that. Okay, now, before we go on, gentlemen, I want to open up and let everybody know to head over to the witness statement. If you got something you want to say in one of those polls, make your voice heard and let us know. And before we go on to have our panelists select the song of the week, I do want to show you guys a little bit more about the MSI hit list. So take a look at this if you would. And that is the MSI hit list coming up very, very soon. So we definitely want to make sure you all are hanging out for that. Now then, let's go over to the guys and let them select a song of the week. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you make your decision.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say don't forget, put in your witness statement on our new page, witness statement. I'll just put the URL in the chat room for people to go and cast their votes.
Absolutely. We definitely want them to do that. Now I want to hear what your votes are, gentlemen. Anybody can start. It's open table here. Tom? Ian? Mark? Anybody?
I'm still thinking about it. It's
You see, I put my vote in on the witness statement, and I'll tell you what I've done. I have gone, best songwriting is for number 2. Best performance is no doubt number 1. But best mix and production has got to be really song number 3, I think. So I am very divided this week between where to go. I mean, I'm going to say, just to put the opening gambit in, the song number 2. Out of the 3, it's the song I would listen to again. It is very well done. It is very well written. It needs attention, but don't they all? So,
not surprised. I actually thought you would choose number 2. It seemed like more your style. And I was torn between number 2 and number 3. I am leaning towards number 2 as well. If they can add a little bit more oomph into the song, that would be the one out of the. If I had to choose one out of 3 to add to our rotation at Butterflies Radio, that would be the one I would go with. So I'm going for number 2.
And Tom?
Well, I really was interested in song number 3, but one of the biggest deficits about being a mix engineer, producer, and working with, a lot of big names and knowing what is potentially capable of doing, even with minimal equipment and stuff. And it just really, it bothers me. It actually angers me that, number 3 is not as good as it should be. And I'm gonna have to make it across the board and say it too, because it was mixed well. You could, it may not have been the shining star that it should have been, but like Ian says, they're all lacking in some way or other. But 2 would be the song, and to tell you honestly, number 2 ticks me off almost as much as number 3. So it's sad to say the winner is by default rather than by standing out.
All right. Well, I appreciate your all's hard work on that. Number 2, Save Your Diatribe. Roderick 76 is going to be our song of the week. Mark, as always, my friend, it's great to have you with us every time you come on. Thank you very much.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
And
I would just like to announce our witness statement results, Rich.
Please do, Ian.
So for best songwriting, song number 2 has been selected with 60% of the votes. For best performance, song 1 has been selected with 75% of the votes. And best mix and production, song 3 with 75% of the votes. Now that poll will be open all week, so you can listen to the podcast and go and cast your own votes. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes.
Excellent. Yeah, I definitely would be as well, and we will keep you all posted on that, and we will announce the final number tally on that during next week's show. And again, thanks each and every one of you for being here. Everyone out in the audience, thank you as well. What we're going to do now is we're going to play out with Save Your Diatribe. And until next week, we'll see you in the lab, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Into the sun. into